Hi, how are
How
you?
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. You
Nice to see
nervous?
What?
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, same here.
1 year ago, you are here in our live conversations, and first I would like to say thanks. Really?
Ah,
Yeah.
it's my pleasure. It was
No?
it was 1 year ago.
Yeah, in
Oh,
the at December.
okay, okay.
Eh, eh, Maybe in Christmas you have a familiar food or something like this, or reunion or
Yeah,
with the
maybe,
family
maybe
that
so.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you nervous with the new album with today, tomorrow? Is the release day, 12th November,
Yes.
in
No,
virus, in virus times?
I'm not nervous for the album. I'm excited for the album. I performed it last night for the first time in a small club
Yeah,
here called
yeah.
Human Pool. And I was pretty nervous for that because I wasn't sure how
Mhm.
it was going to go in in a concert live setting, whether,
Yeah,
because it's not the kind of music that is easy if people are talking and things like that. But it went really well, and the crowd was
yeah.
super cool. And um, yeah, it was a really beautiful night, actually. So I'm happy
You,
to have the
you,
first performance out of the way.
your eyes are brightening. Talking about that concert, so is
Ah,
the better expression, no?
yeah. No, it was good. I've never tried to play this music before in its
Yeah.
entirety because of the way I made it. I recorded 90 minutes or something, and then I spent a few months constructing the piece from that music, editing and changing and structuring.
Yeah.
And I only learned how to play the music this week. So
Wow.
I spent the week practicing with my old guitar and trying to figure out how to play it from the start to the finish and writing my notes
and
and things. So
and you make it?
I did. Yeah, I made
Did
a
it?
couple mistakes, but mostly it went pretty well. Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to make this music and repeat and make the normal music concerts with a creation like that. No?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was feeling. It's exciting to me to do it, but I didn't want the concert to be an improvisation. I wanted it to be a
Yeah.
reproduction in a way of the structure of the record. So it took me a while,
Mm.
even though the music is very, very simple. It took me a while to figure it out and write it down and make sure that it was accurate instead of just, I didn't want it to be like jamming on the guitar. I wanted it to be
Yeah.
performing.
The piece we can speak about that album. It's a track
Hmm.
with four parts. Um, there are two sides. For me, the design and the art of the
Yes,
album,
yes, which is a
I
big,
think is very important in that release.
yeah, yeah, it's a big part of it. I actually don't even have finished copies here to show you and to show the viewers, but
Yeah,
the cover photos are very important to me. It's a artist from Brazil, a young woman
yeah.
named Anna Bogasiova, who's a friend of mine, and she's an incredible, fantastic photographer, but she's relatively unknown.
Hmm.
Her work is beautiful, and as soon as I saw that image that's on the cover, I knew that that had to be the cover with the sort of dying flowers and the broken glass and everything.
Hmm.
It really felt like it reflected the music and the concept of
Mm.
the time that the record was made. September last year, 2020, everybody in isolation, nobody on the
Hmm.
streets. This whole thing, and then we decided.
Mm.
It was actually the people at my record company at Mute who suggested,
Yeah.
since the piece is short, 22 minutes, to put it all on one side of the record and
Hmm.
make an etching on the other side, because they knew that I had done those things before, made scratching etchings on record, and I make visual art that way too. So that was their idea, to make the etching on the back and to make the vinyl blue like the cover. And then we decided to put a poster inside the record, based on another one of these record prints that I make. And I decided I wanted to hand sign each one. So we spent a few days, and I was signing and numbering 2,500 copies of this poster. So in a way, it's nice when you get the record, you get something that's actually hand signed. You know, that's a little bit more personal aspect to it.
Is the moment for that things, no, for that act.
I think so. So. As opposed to, you can obviously hear it streaming, but to get the package with the beautiful cover photo and the color vinyl and the poster, it's a nice object, I think. And as you say, that was very important to the whole concept of this release.
For me, I can say I listen. The album, thanks.
Really.
For me, it's a creative piece, like a painting. Music is like painting. Painting have music is that synesthesia. Synesthetic.
It can be considered like that. I mean,
and the turquoise, the color is perfect. The turquoise.
The
is that
really nice.
The emotion?
A little kind of blue, to quote Miles Davis. It was that time. Everything was kind of blue and a little bit soft light. Like, it wasn't bright and colorful. We didn't know what was going on right then, and the world was in lockdown when I was making. I made that record here in this room where I'm talking to you, and the window was open. And sounds of the street and some police sirens and things were coming in. And at first, I didn't realize that when I was working on the record. I thought I wanted to try and eliminate those sounds, but in the end, I felt like the environment helped the quality of the record. Really reflecting that moment in time.
It's like being in that space. And you listen with ears. I'm here, and the strings are physical, the notes are physical, the music is physical. So for me, it's a cross, painting and music. That creation.
In that period, that last year of 2020, I didn't do a lot of music. This was pretty much the only music project I did, but I was making a lot of drawings of flowers, and they were first fresh and then getting old and then dying and dead, and I was drawing them in all these different states, and I felt like the music was kind of like that. Each chord kind of bloomed, and then you could watch it or hear it
that's
die
exactly
before the next one. So in a way,
exactly.
it had a similar concept to the painting and drawing I was doing.
It's when you play the strings and some notes, it's like painting. That exercise of painting, no?
I think so. And it has
the hand of the artist, no?
Yes, and the same reason for signing the posters, the hand of the artist, in a way, the personal touch. When you get a record, it's always mass manufactured. There's never really a sense of the artist touching the record that you receive. So this one has a little bit of a different quality for that. And I guess it's doing very well. The first edition with the poster and everything is selling out. So that's super cool. So you're lucky to have one coming. You're lucky to have one coming.
I have in Netherlands with PIS with PIS in Netherlands. And everything okay, and so is in his webs. When you listen that piece, that music, how do you feel? It's like regret, go to that moment in 2020 in September. It's like a picture of that moment.
Yeah,
consciousness picture of that moment.
yeah, in a way, not regret so much as just remembering what we were going through back then. You know, like I said, I recorded it here in this room in the night with the lights were out. It was quite dark, and just kind of playing these chords into this dark room. It really felt like it was a reflection of how we were living right then. You know, staying
Hmm.
inside. Nobody was on the streets. Nobody was
Yeah.
meeting. You know, I played this performance last night, and now every time I go out, I meet someone,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I haven't seen you for 2 years. You know, it has that quality.
Yeah.
You know? But back then we weren't
Yes.
seeing anyone but our closest people. You know, our pod.
It's a consciousness act. Make this record in that
Yes,
times.
yes,
Yes.
very much so. Yeah, very much so. And I was surprised when I made the recordings. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to make a record. You know, I was
Hmm.
just recording for myself. And then when I started to work it and
Yeah.
ship it and edit the whole thing, I really liked what I had. And I showed it to the people at Mute,
Hmm.
and they really liked it too. So we went with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, People say about the music, anxiety is the word.
I don't know.
Anxiety and ansiedad,
Anxiety.
anxiety.
Anxious. Yeah.
Perfect,
Yeah. Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
For me, it's more health, relax. Um, the opinions of the people, no,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the same music,
Yeah. Different opinions.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
yeah,
Yeah. I guess I can see
and
both
what,
of those. There's a bit of anxiety and a bit of just kind of waiting. You know, that's really what I felt in that moment in September. We were all waiting to see what was going to happen. Was it getting worse? Was it getting better? I mean, it was a difficult winter for a lot of people. But yeah, there's a bit of anxiety in there, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a need for you. It's a needle to create music and music like this,
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. Well, you know,
And,
my record, the record.
maybe first for yourself and after for the people. But
Yes.
you say it's for me in
Yes.
the first.
Yes, when I did it first, it was for me. And, you know, the record before this one, the one with Raul Refri, Names of North End Women, came out
Yeah.
1 week before the pandemic started,
Yeah.
before lockdown. So we weren't able to go out
Mm.
and tour that record. We didn't, you know, I played one of those songs from that release from February 2020 last night for the very
Hmm.
first time. And
Yeah.
we weren't able to play that music. And then I was so confused by the start of the pandemic that I didn't do any music. This was the first music I did, you know, September. So from March to September, I worked on drawings and I really played very little music.
Hmm.
Working on this record started me coming back to music, and I felt like I was picking up the guitar as though I was meeting it for the first time, you know. And so everything I played was the most simple possible, not complicated, just trying to remember how to play a guitar, you know, how to
Yeah.
where you put your fingers and all that.
I listened that emotion that first times
Yeah.
with playing. It's like don't know play guitar and take a guitar and what is this?
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's how I felt right then. My fingers
yeah.
weren't in practice, and you know, I could only do the most minimal thing, and you know,
Yeah. And enjoy one note 4 times, 6 times, eight
yes,
times,
yes,
turn,
yes,
come back, and that like a game, like a child, like
yes, yes, and there was a sense of that kind of like frustration, you know, just playing one note over and over again. I mean, that's kind of
yeah,
how that moment felt. It was like, you know, every day was the same. You didn't see anybody. There was nobody
yeah,
outside, and you know, it was a bit of a reflection of the time in a sense. But I wasn't.
yeah.
I was just playing. I wasn't. You know, my feelings came out in the piece. I would say
Hmm.
that now, but at the time I was just trying to do something. You know, I had a couple ideas and
Yeah.
it sounded nice, so I set up the good microphones and said I'll record it
Hmm.
just for myself. You know.
You speak about many recordings and edit
Yes,
and make the piece, no?
yes, yes. 2 or 3 months of editing from 90
Wow,
minutes to 22 minutes. It
wow,
took a long time to figure, and then it's in 4 parts. So I really
yeah.
spent many months figuring out how I wanted it to be if it was going to be something to present to someone else to hear it.
Mm. It's like say hello, let's go. For
Yeah,
me, eh?
yeah,
My um, badass opinion,
yeah,
if you,
yeah,
but it's like say hello, let's go. Uh, Maybe aggressive, stay aggressive, and circular,
yeah,
and
yeah,
go to the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the four parts for me when I'm listening is not logical, but because it's music and the music
It's beyond
um,
logic.
everyone have his opinion, but for me it's like this four things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I guess I feel the same way. But it's a listening experience, really, for this record.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah,
environment. It makes an
yeah,
environment, and maybe
yeah.
you sit in the same environment that I was in when I made it.
Today I have a crazy day, and when I go to home with family, I'm nervous, very nervous, very excited. The job and other things, and I listen, and it's keep
Yeah.
calm.
Ah, good, good. It's like a
Yeah,
meditation.
yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So great, so great. And I will say thanks for this too. Um, the object in the art, coming to the design with mute, um, it's difficult to release an edition of albums like this in that times.
Well, I think the most difficult thing was that all the vinyl factories are very booked up right now. So we had to wait.
Yeah,
We had to wait quite a long time to get the vinyl pressed. Um,
yeah.
but then making the concept of the art, the Mute is a really artist centric label, so they are trying to do what's best for the artist. And they came
Hmm.
up with the idea for the package and to put the poster in, and it just all worked really well. The main thing was just waiting a long time for the vinyl to be ready.
The poster is inspired in a electron of the COVID-19.
Yes, it's from an electron microscope image of a COVID-19
Yeah.
molecule. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And in a way, it was in keeping with the idea of the record is called In Virus Times, and it's the
Hmm.
whole thing is about that moment. And uh, when I had a few different ideas for the poster, and when we saw that one, it seemed like the most lively and the most
Yeah,
interesting one. So, you know,
yeah,
because the molecule itself is kind of beautiful. It's this deep blue like the
yeah,
record, and it has these
yeah, yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
red spots, almost like berries or
Yeah.
something like that. It's quite nice looking.
It's important to see beautiful things in the dark times, in the
Yeah,
darkest times.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. I think that's why the idea of flowers, and I know many artists were making
Hmm.
images of flowers in that period, and I guess it was because the times were so dark, they were looking for something that was a kind of symbol of beauty in a way to
Yeah.
hold on to beauty in that dark moment.
Hmm. Some people talks about the light.
Hmm.
I prefer beauty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Both are
prefer beauty
important.
too. The home studio. You can't go to the normal usual studio because
Yeah.
the people are locked. And in your home, make a studio with two mics, maybe
Yes, two microphones. Yeah,
two
yeah,
microphones
yeah.
and a laptop, or
Yeah, for recording, a laptop. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Pro Tools and all that stuff. But I have a little, I can do some work here, both music work and some visual art work. But of course, it's easier to do in the studio. But in a way, for this record, it was very nice to make it at home. It felt like the right thing to do to make this record is
Yeah.
a reflection of the moment, So we were home, and
that's the lo-fi of the 80s.
I guess so.
Back to the roots.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It has something to do with that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why that period was important. The lo-fi records were made. People were making records in their bedroom with a cassette recorder, and that was a very important moment to show that you didn't need to spend thousands of dollars to make good music. You can make it at home.
Yeah, it's changed something like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And two microphones, one laptop, but the idea is the same.
Yeah, yeah, exactly the same. Yeah.
Yesterday, the concert, ambience, the people, sit or
sing,
are seated.
Seated? No. It was a really cool club in Brooklyn called Union Pool, but it's a standing place, and it was a little. I was a little worried. People are drinking beer, are they? But everybody was very quiet, and I actually decided that the background sounds on the record, the sirens and all this kind of thing, was an important part of the music. So before the concert, I made some recordings here in the evening of just the sounds out the window and occasionally a siren of the police car or whatever. And I had that playing in the background. So it kind of really recreated the sound of the record. And everybody was super quiet. It was really quite beautiful, actually. The room had that reverb, and it was quite nice, actually. I was very nervous. I don't usually get nervous before a performance, but for this one I was pretty nervous because it seems like difficult music. It should be played in a seated venue. This is music for sitting and listening, but it worked pretty good in the club.
For you, this is an experience to be so naked.
Yeah.
With the simplest one man and a guitar and put nylon or nickel or steel and hands.
Yeah. Usually, even if I play acoustic guitar in concerts a lot, but I always have an amplifier and effects pedals, and this was none of that. Just the guitar with the microphones and no effects or anything. And so I've never done that before in a concert. And so it was really the first time, and I was quite nervous about it because you don't have all that noise fire to fall back on. So, but it was really interesting. I really enjoyed the experience. It was very intimate. It was very intimate in a way. And because the music is so slow, there was a lot of quiet moments and everybody was quiet. It was cool.
That magical moments, no? Magical instance of
in a way. Everybody listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
Tomorrow is a streaming? Will be a streaming of the album?
I think tomorrow you'll be able to hear it on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff, Deezer. And and tomorrow it will also be available to buy it as well, to buy it in the shops if there's still any left, But so that's exciting for me for tomorrow. I hope I get to perform it now that I know how to perform it. I hope I can perform it some more times in the future in nice club situations,
Well, tour, concerts to the next year?
I don't know. It's still kind of hard to say when it's possible. I might do something in Miami next month, an art fair. And right now, Raul and I have one concert booked in France in late January. So if everything is cool and I can fly to Europe, we'll do at least one, maybe two or three, I don't know yet, but at least one concert in France in January. And, you know, things are starting to move in
Yeah.
in the right direction again. Let's hope it continues
Mm.
that way, you know?
Uh, that album comes in the maybe in the end of the pandemic, in the end of the worst moments.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the curve is going down,
Yeah, we'll see.
and
I heard from Raul that in Spain it's getting worse again, though.
yeah, but a little bit,
Yeah.
just a little,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Okay.
We are in 60
Yeah.
60 cases in one, no, in 100 habitants.
Okay.
16.
Yes, 16. Yeah, that's I guess quite a bit right now. You know the other thing when you were talking before about anxiety and all that from the pandemic, the time that I made the record, it was great anxiety about the pandemic, and it was also in the US great anxiety about the elections, because we were all really worried about Trump getting elected again. And so it was kind of like a two-headed monster. You know, we had this awful nightmare of COVID and this other awful nightmare of the possibility that Trump would be reelected. So it was a really anxiety-filled time, you know, and that's, I guess, also kind of what's reflected in the music. You know, it was the uncertainty of that moment between the virus and the election made it a really stressful time.
Political decisions. And I speak with Talia Fedek last month. Yeah. And we speak about the bad politics and good for creative.
Yeah.
When the
push against.
Yeah.
For sure. It got everybody thinking about the future and, you know, what could happen with bad politics. So it was good for a lot of creative people that moment in time, you know.
Her album is in that times, in September, December, February, with that moments of political strange moments and the health situation, and you make your new music too in that days.
Yeah.
So the artists are making the taking the ambience of the environment and making art.
Yeah.
Like always.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
trying to explain the emotions, no?
Yeah. And, you know, at that time, like I said, I wasn't doing a lot of music and everybody was so anxious about the virus and Trump. And that night when I set up the microphones and I played, it was almost the first peaceful moment. You know, I turned off the news and stopped thinking about all that stuff and just started listening to the music. And it was for those 90 minutes or so that I was recording, it was just a really calm moment, you know, in an otherwise stressful time. So that was quite good.
It's like a wall, no?
Yes, exactly.
It's my space.
Yeah. And I think that's why I kept the room dark as well. It was like no television, no nothing, just the sound of the music, you know.
Yeah. And I see flowers
behind. Now we always have flowers. We realize how important it is to look beautiful.
Well, I will take thanks to you to be here today.
Yeah.
One day before the release, the official release.
Yes, tomorrow.
I hope the best for you. And if you wanted to say something about the album, about that last year, you are in 1 year, one year and a half with my conversations. You are the most fast person speaking. Your ideas are like go so fast.
Yeah. Well, it's important for artists to keep having ideas and to keep seeing what's going on and try and be a reflection. And in a way, this record, to me, is sometimes I think it's the most pure reflection of how I was feeling when I made the music, because it was so spontaneous and it was just, when I listen to it now, I really get transported back to that moment when I was making the record and the feelings that everybody was having back then. And, so now I'm looking ahead to getting more music in my life and making more music and, trying to figure out how Raul and I will collaborate this next year. And I hope that we can make a new record, because the last record we made together, Names of Boys and Women.
Please.
We felt like that record was quite an experiment, and we want to continue that experiment, going forward. So I hope that's going to happen, and that the virus is going to calm down and we'll go back to some kind of life again.
Today, day of interviews.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for me, no.
The last few weeks have been some interviews about the record. In a normal, that's normal before a record comes out. But it's been nice to talk to people again, because there hasn't been much to say for a year.
Better to go to other countries and make concerts, but
we'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see how all that goes coming out of the pandemic, because I want I want my whatever happens in the future for me to be new and different. Right? I don't want it to be the same as it used to be. I want to feel like I have a new energy after all this time. I don't want to just erase it and pretend it didn't happen. I want to go forward knowing all this happened and renew myself and what I'm going to present for concerts. I did 3 concerts last month and then this one yesterday. So I did 4 concerts this year, since that's all. And I'm not going to, and each one was completely different. And, so going forward, I really want to challenge myself to do many different things. And instead of, the typical go out and tour the same songs every night, I want to do something very different with every concert.
Maybe that connections, that new style, or the social media to speak about music, different people around the world. Maybe you take the best of that tools.
Yeah, it can be. We have to take all of this into account, the socials, and social media was very important in this last year and a half, because we weren't seeing anybody else, so we were mostly seeing each other like this, through screens, and it was quite an important moment in a lot of ways. So we take all of that going forward. We take the experiences of this last year and a half, and rather than erase them, we go forward knowing what happened and try and do better. Try and make better work.
You feel the people in the other side. So we like your music, follow your records, your different projects, and you really feel it.
Me? Yeah, I do, because for me and also for the time of Sonic Youth, we always had a very good connection with our fans, and you could feel the reflection of people who were listening and taking things from it, or getting things from it, and that dialogue is very important, very, very important. So it's one of the most important parts of being an artist, is getting that reflection back from the audience. So it's really important.
If we'll be a little part of that power to make new things, it's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you want to make now, close.
Okay.
Say goodbye.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Hey, thanks
it's
for
okay.
calling. Yeah.
It's okay. So
it's good for me. Thanks for calling, and
Yeah.
it's nice to talk about the record. And I hope for anybody out there watching that you can find a way to listen to it and see what you think for yourselves. It's definitely a different record. For me, it's the most different record I've ever done in some ways, and that's exciting to me right now. Going forward to, and the funny thing is, when Raul and I made Names of North End Women, we talked about maybe the next thing we do will be a pure acoustic record, and we didn't make it. We didn't make it together, but somehow it came out like that anyway, and it just out of the blue, without any planning or, sometimes the best things come when you're not planning. You're just you're working, and then later you figure out what you did.
It's a nice beginning again, no?
Yeah. Post pandemic. That's
Yeah.
I want a T-shirt that says post
The
pandemic.
first.
Yeah.
So thanks, really. It's a pleasure, an honor, and tomorrow is my birthday, so
Okay.
it's a really a present to be with you
Feliz
today.
cumpleaños. That's nice.
When I see the date, Ranaldo new release, 12th November.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're
it's good day.
Scorpio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
So really, thanks, and all the best for you and your family.
It's nice to speak to you again. We'll stay in touch.
So thanks.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.